Sri Bhagavatam, the story of the Sri Simon, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhagavatam, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Jai. This community founders have His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Namaste Sri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Salava Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Antarashna Bhagavatam ki Jai. I all the people all that is Sri Samadhi, all that is Sri Samadhi, all that is Sri Samadhi, all that is Sri Guru Sri Gauranga, all that is Sri Prabhupada. Jai. Om Adhyana Nirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshuri Bhakshena Kundirisam Dena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Bhagavatam Dadati Swapantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Bhagavatam Sri Guru Vaishnava Sri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Advaitam Savadutam Parijanam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Sri Vishakam Sha Hare Krishna Karma Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpatarum Yasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Narayanam Namastubhyam Narayanam Namastubhyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraya. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the Supreme Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of my name, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayeshavadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within our heart becomes destroyed and practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Vishwaya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantharaj, the king of all literatures, is Srimad God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Prabhu Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda, Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, 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 Om Surabhyaya Namaha, Om Surabhyaya Namaha, Mukam Karoti Vasaram Tam, Mukam Kayate Hridam, Yat Vivaya Mahamande Sri Guru Jnanam, Yat Vivaya Mahamande Sri Guru Jnanam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have the translator, or we don't need a translator? We have, or we don't need?
No.
No translator. No translator.
Translation కావాలా తెలుగు?
Everyone understands?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What? If by chance somebody does not understand, they can sit beside someone who does understand.
ఎవరికైనా తెలుగులో కావాలనుకుంటే తెలుగులో చెప్పిన వాళ్ళ పక్కకు వచ్చి కూర్చొని ఎవరికైనా కావాలా తెలుగు ఇంగ్లీష్ అందరికీ ఇంగ్లీష్ ఓకేనా?
You're all very brave souls coming so early from Bhagavatam. Congratulations, everyone. Yes. In this way, your day will be Mangala. Yeah, auspicious. You can make our everyday Mangala. And one of the important activities that we also are doing now is hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is described as the Amala Puranam, the pure of all the Puranas. There are 18 Puranas. Of all the 18 Puranas, the Bhagavat Purana, known as the Srimad Bhagavatam, is the most important of all the Puranas. And we are reading from, how many have the entire set of Srimad Bhagavatam in their home? I go, okay. Excellent. Wow.
Yes.
Yes. So today I've been given the 7th canto, and I suppose the marker here is today's verse, or not, I don't know. This one, huh?
Yes.
You sure, right?
Yes.
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay. Just want to check with the authorities here.
Yes.
So we are reading from the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 5, which is entitled Prahlad, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu, who was not so saintly. And it is text number 3030. Sri Prahlad Uvacha Matir Na Krishne Paratah Svato Va Vitho Vipadyeta Griha Pratanam Adanta Gobhir Vishatam Tamisram Punash Sarvita Sarvananam Sri Prahlad Uvacha Matirna Krishne Rata Svatova Mitho Vipadeta Diha Pratanam Adantapobhir Vishatam Tanishram Guna Punashavitatsarvananam Sri Prahlad Uvacha Matirna Krishne Parata Svatova Mitho Vipadeta Diha Adantavobhir Vishatam Tamishram Punashavitatsarvananam Sri Prahlad Uvacha Matirna Krishne Parata Svatova Mitho Vipadyeta Brihadatanam Adantavobhir Vishatam Tamishram Punashavitatsarvananam
Sri Prahlada Uvacha Krishna Parata Svatova Vipadyeta Griha Antagobhe Visatam Tamishram Punascharvitacharvananam
Sri Prahlad Uvacha Matirna Krishne Parato Savota Meto Vipadyate Grahavat Pratanam Adanta Gobir Vishitam Tamishram Punah Swarvita Charananam Charvananam
Sri Prahlad
श्रीप्रह्लादुवाच
श्रीप्रह्लादुवाच
मतिर्न कृष्णे परतस्वतो वा
मतिर्न कृष्णे परतस्वतो वा
हितो विपद्येत गृहव्रतानां
हितो विपद्येत गृहव्रतानाम्
अदन्तगोपी
Ladies? श्रीप्रह्लादुवाच मतिर्न कृष्णे परतस्वतो वा हितो विपद्येत गृहव्रतानाम् अदन्तगोपी विशतं तमिश्रम् Sri-Prahlad-uvaca. Prahlad Maharaj said, Bhakti, inclination, na, never, Krishna, unto Lord Krishna, Parataha, from the instructions of others, Swataha, from their own understanding, Va, either, Mittaha, from combined efforts, Abhipadita, is developed, Grihavratanam, of persons too addicted to the materialistic bodily conception of life, Adanta, uncontrolled, Gobihi, by the senses, Vishatam, entering, Tamishram, hellish life, Punaha, again, Punaha, again and again. Sarvita, things already chewed, Sarvanam, who are chewing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. This was one of Srila Prabhupada's favorite verses. Often quoted this verse, actually. And we will understand why as we read the translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prahlad Maharaj replied. Actually, first I will read, and then I will ask all of you to repeat. Prahlad Maharaj replied, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Now you may kindly repeat after me. Prahlad Maharaj replied, by their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the sins of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. in this verse, the word Matirna Krishna referred to devotional service rendered to Krishna. So-called politicians, erudite scholars, and philosophers who read Bhagavad Gita try to twist some meaning from it, their material purposes. But their misunderstandings of Krishna will not yield them any profit. And because such politicians, philosophers, and scholars are interested in using Bhagavad Gita as a vehicle for adjusting things materially, from them, constant thought of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is impossible. Matirna Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18:55, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only through devotional service can one understand Krishna as he is. The so-called politicians and scholars think of Krishna as fictitious. The politician says that his Krishna is different from the Krishna depicted in Bhagavad Gita. Even though he accepts Krishna and Rama as the supreme, he thinks of Rama and Krishna as impersonal because he has no idea of service to Krishna. Thus, his only business is puna puna sarvita sarvananam, chewing the chewed again and again. The aim of such politicians and academic scholars is to enjoy the material world with their bodily senses. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that those who are grihavrata, whose only aim is to live comfortably with the body in the material world, cannot understand Krishna. The two expressions, grihavrata and sarvita sarvananam, indicate that a materialistic person tries to enjoy sense gratification in different bodily forms, life after life, but is still unsatisfied. In the name of personalism, this ism or that ism, such persons always remain attached to the materialistic way of life. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2:44, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam Daya parita chetasam Javasaya dikha buddhi Samadhasa vidhiyate. Translation: in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. End of quotation. Those who are attached to material enjoyment cannot be fixed in devotional service to the Lord. They cannot understand Bhagavan, Krishna, or his instruction, Bhagavad Gita. Adanta Gopir, Visatam Tavishram. Their path actually leads toward hellish condition. As confirmed by Vishwadev, Mahat Sevam Dvam Ahur Vimukte, one must try to understand Krishna by serving a devotee. The word Mahat refers to a devotee. Mahatmanastamam Partha Naivim Prakritimasritaha Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Yatva Bhutarim Avyayam. From Bhagavad Gita 9:15, translation as follows. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. End of quotation. A Mahatma is one who is constantly engaged in devotional service 24 hours a day. As explained in the following verses, unless one adheres to such a great personality, one cannot understand Krishna. Hiranyakashipu wanted to know where Prahlad had gotten this Krishna consciousness. Who had taught him? Prahlad sarcastically replied, "My dear father, persons like you never understand Krishna. One can understand Krishna only by serving a Mahat, a great soul. Those who try to adjust material conditions are said to be chewing the chewed. No one has been able to adjust material conditions, but life after life, generation after generation, people try and repeatedly fail. Unless one is properly trained by a Mahatma, or unalloyed devotee of the Lord, there is no possibility of one's understanding Krishna and his devotional service." End of the report. I'm reading again the translation. Prahlad Maharaj replied, "Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both." Yes. Very important instruction explained here by Prahlad Maharaj. We know how Prahlad Maharaj was very, very fortunate to actually receive spiritual instruction even before being born. The story is given that at that time, long ago, this great personality or great demoniac personality, Hiranyakashipu, he became very, very powerful because he got special benediction from Lord Brahma. And he conquered actually all the demigods who were very powerful, became very afraid of him. And when the demigods came to know that the wife of Hiranyakashipu was pregnant and she will be therefore giving birth to another demon. That was their thinking, like father, like son. So they thought, we will take away the wife of Hiranyakashipu, and as soon as that son is born, we will kill him. Because we don't like demons. Demigods, there are two kinds of people, only two kinds of people. Either we are on the side of the demons, actually demigods and demons. The divine and the demoniac. Bhagavad Gita, one full chapter explaining the nature of the divine, means devotees. So when the demigods, they were thinking in this way, and they were carrying away, they took away the wife of Hiranyakashipu. And then Narada Muni, who is constantly traveling here and there, he came to know, and immediately he started to explain to the demigods, wait, don't take her away. Actually, this living entity in the womb will not actually become a demon. So he convinced the demigods, so they allowed her, they freed her. So he took the wife of Hiranyakashipu to his ashram. So many devotees were there. And in ashram, every day there are classes on the Bhagavatam, like we are having now. And everyone who lives in ashram, they are devotees. So even after Bhagavatam, when they speak, they discuss about topics in relation to Krishna. So like this, Prahlad, who was in the womb of his mother, was hearing all this Krishna Katha. He was, when his mother was attending Bhagavatam or hearing from other devotees, so he was hearing the spirit soul, the spirit soul in the body, even within the womb. At a certain, it is mentioned, when the 7th month of pregnancy comes, then the living entity sometimes remembers his condition, remembers his previous life, and he will pray to the Lord, one realizes, again I will be born. This time kindly, one prays to the Lord, kindly help me to become your devotee, like that. So this is the question that was being asked. Hiranyakashipu was amazed. And so were the classmates of Prahlad. When Prahlad would go to school, whenever the teachers were not there, he would stand on the desk and he would start preaching Krishna Katha, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And all of his friends, they were like amazed. You are like us, the demons. Why you speak like this? Where you got all this knowledge about Krishna? Who is Krishna? Because they're born from the demonic family. Then Prahlad, he explained, I got this knowledge actually when I was in the ashram, when I was still in the womb of my mother, and it is due to the great mercy of Narada Muni. So this point is being made here. Those who are too addicted to materialistic way of life, they cannot understand about Krishna. We should try to understand how this is not the first time we are having a body. The whole process of reincarnation, which is part of Vedic understanding, Vedic culture. We are born again and again in so many different forms of life. In the Vedic literatures, it explains how there are 8,400,000. That's a big number. 8,400,000 different species of life. 8 million, 400,000. 400,000 are different human species. So before we come to a human species, we have to go through 8 million different bodies. Body in the tree, body in the fish, body in the bird, body, you name all the different species, we have gone through all of those, isn't it? It means that we now, today, all of us, we have a human body. It means that we have a long history of having been in so many different bodies. And what was the main activity in all of those different species? Eating, sleeping, making material activity, because the consciousness is not developed. So in other words, we have already experienced all types of activities on the bodily platform. Why again repeat the same thing when we are conscious? Now we are conscious, we have the ability, the opportunity, the great fortune to begin understanding that we're not this body. The dogs, the cats, they can't understand. You know, the consciousness is just simply too covered. So Shastra, this verse particular, is telling us, Prahlad is telling how those who are too much addicted to activities of sense gratification, they cannot develop their attraction to Krishna. And the problem is that if we don't develop our attraction to Krishna, as mentioned here, our materialistic activities are simply drawing us more and more towards hellish condition. What is hellish condition? Hellish condition actually is not only going to Patala Loka, in the lower regions of the universe, but hellish condition means being disconnected with Krishna. Because when we are disconnected with Krishna, when we don't know that we are spirit soul, when we don't know that we are servant of Krishna, we falsely think we are this body. We falsely think that we can be happy by material activities. That we eat 10 gulab jamun. Oh, but after some time, my 10 gulab jamun will be a problem. We engage in so many types of activities of sense gratification, but not knowing, the more we engage in activities of sense gratification, every single moment, every single time we engage in activities of sense gratification, we increase our suffering, isn't it? The more we become attached, then we increase we prolong our existence in the material world. The more we increase our material desires, and material desires can be unlimited, isn't it? Then that means that we have to again come back to fulfill all those desires. So therefore Vedic culture is teaching us, you minimize, regulate, and even beyond that, you do away completely, you finish all your material desires, because no material desire can make us happy. Only spiritual desire. So like this, we have to train our mind. What are the activities of the mind? Thinking, feeling, and willing. These are the three activities of the mind. So those who are devoid of this knowledge, they're constantly thinking about material things. They're all constantly feeling about material things and desiring material things. So we cannot stop thinking, feeling, and willing, but we can change the nature of our thinking, feeling, and willing. And we can only do that, as mentioned here, by contact with saintly persons. The more, as we were mentioning briefly yesterday, spiritual life actually begins with good association. If we associate with devotees, then actually, gradually we become also devotees. If we associate with non-devotees, we also become non-devotees. So this is a very important instruction. Srila Prabhupada explained how we are establishing temples all over the world to give an opportunity for people to come in contact with devotees. We are establishing right here in Hyderabad, Bhakti Kutir. This Bhakti Kutir is a kutir, a house, a place where main activity is bhakti. Because bhakti is the essence of life. Bhakti is, the essence of bhakti is seva, service. Materialistic people, we call karmis, they're very busy, but they're busy in wrong activities. We can more easily develop our bhakti, we can awaken our devotional service by being busy, by being active in matters that are relating to Krishna consciousness. So there are many ways in which we can do this. We, of course, in the Bhakti Kutir, and everyone can actually make their own Bhakti Kutir as well, where the main focus and activity is the Lord. We are conscious that actually I'm having this house, but this house is not my house, it's Krishna's house. My wife is not actually my wife, she belongs to Krishna. My children are not my children, they are Krishna's children. Slowly, gradually, we can develop this understanding, this consciousness, especially by being very regulated in hearing. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, isn't it? We chant this particular prayer every day. So, this is the choice. Actually, Krishna is giving us the choice of either engaging in his devotional service or of not being engaged in this way. We have that minute independence. Because love is something, bhakti means love ultimately. Love, Prabhupada explains, can only happen between two. That's why the Mayavad philosophy or impersonal philosophy is not very satisfying because there is no exchange, isn't it? We are all seeking, we are all desiring to experience friendly and loving exchanges between one another. And the best way to actually develop this loving propensity, we all have this loving propensity. It is there within the heart of all living entities. And we can best develop our love for Krishna by developing our love for other devotees. We can best learn to serve Krishna by learning to serve Krishna's devotees. We can best learn to serve Krishna by learning to serve Krishna's mission. In the Bhagavad Gita, that is nicely explained, Dharma samstapanarthaya sambarami yuge haritranaya sadhanam vinashaya sutam. Yeah, very well-known verse. So like this, both the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, when we keep in our home, but not only on the shelf, when we take it out of the shelf and open the book, and on a daily basis, here at least a few verses, or maybe a few pages, and all of the different practices that are recommended, especially, how many have the Nectar of Devotion? Nectar Bhakti Rasamrita is most important book also. These are the 4 books that were meant especially to study: Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah. If we simply concentrate on these 4 books, and there are many many volumes, then our whole life will actually become very sublime, and our understanding will become more and more clear, our consciousness will become more peaceful, will be more satisfied. And in this way, we will not, as mentioned here, like those who are simply engaged in chewing the chew. Chewing the chew means doing the same thing. You know, we have already engaged in so many activities of sense gratification. If we do again the same thing, it's like, you know, if you take, what is it? What is that? Sugar cane. Yeah. Anyone sometimes eats sugar cane? Have you ever eaten sugar cane? So there's some sugar. Sugar cane is very nice because there is some it's sweet, isn't it? But after some time, there's nothing sweet. So if you try to chew again, you will not get the result. Yeah. So activities of sense gratification, it is very much like that. We should know that we will not, it will not benefit us, rather the opposite. It will be very detrimental, simply prevent us more and more to understand Krishna or to awaken our Krishna consciousness. So this is some of the instructions from this verse this morning. Normally what time is darshan here? 7:30, is it? What time is darshan? Darshan. No. 7:30. We have a few minutes if there's any comment or question. Yeah. 7:30. We have a few minutes, right?
Yeah. 9 minutes, sir.
10 minutes.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
When we say about devotional service,
Huh?
when we talk about devotional
When you talk
service,
about
so devotional service means what? Do we go and follow the deity worship only, or we need to follow our duty consciousness? Our following our duty is devotional service, or only doing deity worship and following the schedule?
is devotional service only when we step in the temple.
That's exactly.
Go to work, is that devotional service?
Yeah,
or not?
exactly.
Yes. Actually, devotional service is a question of consciousness, isn't it? So, if one develops the proper consciousness, whether in the temple or outside the temple, because some people come in temple, they also don't do devotional service. It's not automatic, isn't it? Sometimes people live in an ashram or temple, but they're in Maya. It's not automatic. It's a question of consciousness. Yeah. So, in Krishna consciousness, these are the instructions we find in the Bhagavad Gita. We learn to perform all activities, also called material activities, like every day you have to go to work, every day you have to do so many so-called material things. You have to drive a car, you have to buy food at the market or whatever, because we're not growing food, we have to buy food. We should be growing food actually. But all activities, if we do them in proper consciousness, those activities become devotional activities.
Consciousness means it?
Huh?
Consciousness
If we develop the proper consciousness, for example, when we work and we give the results of that work for Krishna, or we utilize, consciousness, just like I was mentioning, our family. Our family actually is not our family. Our children, our house is not actually our children, it's Krishna. So we go to work to maintain Krishna's house. And Krishna allowed me to have children. Those are householders. And we develop, in other words, we perform to look after the house. We have to pay the monthly bill, electricity, water, we have to buy food. Then we offer to Krishna. And then we take the remnants. That type of consciousness, the more we develop, all activities that we do, when performed in that understanding and that consciousness, those activities become devotional service. You see?
Being in any field, whatever the work you are doing, whatever the occupation you are,
Any activity which is authorized in the Shastra. Stealing is not.
I would say in your occupation, whatever occupation you are doing.
Well, actually, occupation, there are, Bhagavad Gita speaks about prescribed duties. Prescribed duties. There are, prescribed meaning recommended. There are recommended activities which are more ideal to develop our Krishna consciousness. So, the more we are in line with what is recommended in the Shastra, then that is okay.
Right. Well, one word, Maharaj, always I see, we are in material world. And
Yes.
we always see a word like we are doing material activities. How can you get away of not doing material activity, being
By
material?
purifying the consciousness. It's all a question of consciousness. By changing the consciousness. The consciousness has been covered, has been polluted, has been disconnected for so many lifetimes. So it takes some time to again purify that consciousness, and that process of purification is by especially hearing, chanting, associating with devotees, taking only Krishna Prasadam. All of these different activities help to purify our consciousness. It's a gradual process. Yes?
Correction. Maharaj, I'm very addicted to material sense gratification actually.
Everyone is.
Every
You're no exception. You're nothing special. I mean,
time I try to engage in sense gratification, I feel that Krishna is trying to say me that this is not correct every time.
yes.
But I still tend to engage in those activities. How can I
Yes.
listen to Krishna
So,
and not?
because we are addicted, it's like self-gratification is some kind of addiction. And therefore, depending on how severe is our addiction or attachment, then it takes some time. Therefore, one has to become very determined. One has to, Prabhupada explains, just like when someone becomes sick or diseased, he will go and see a doctor, isn't it? And what will the doctor prescribe? He will prescribe medicine and also a diet. So the medicine is the chanting and the diet is Krishna Prasadam. So these two things are very, very important, and they will gradually help us to become again healthy. Yeah. It takes some time, we have to be a little bit patient, but also we have to apply nicely the process that is recommended by our spiritual doctors, by a saintly person. Yeah. So everyone has a lot of difficulty with the mind. You know, what to do about my mind? Maharaj, what about my mind? What to do? So Krishna is instructing, same question Arjuna is asking to Krishna. So abhyasa, by practice. Practice means to always endeavor to be engaged in different devotional activities, and by vairagya, by detachment. So like this, the more we apply ourselves, slowly, gradually, the positive change will take place. Yeah?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Dandavata.
Yes.
Prabhuji, while doing kirtans, what should I do to develop the mood that this kirtan should please Krishna, not performing the level, but the kirtan should please Krishna. That mood, what should I do to develop that mood?
The mood will automatically come. when we properly follow. Yeah, I'm just saying, you can't force a mood to happen. The mood will naturally evolve, will naturally manifest, will naturally be revived, because ultimately this mood and this mentality is there within us. The propensity, the ability to manifest or to awaken comes as we nicely put into practice. So the more we are endeavoring to follow the good instructions that are there, and so it will naturally or automatically come. Yeah. We should pray, of course, and especially this is the meaning of sadhana. Sadhana, there is sadhana, bhakti, there is bhava bhakti, and then there is prema bhakti. So bhava bhakti and prema bhakti, they're very elevated, advanced levels. They will automatically come when we nicely, sufficiently, properly practice our sadhana. So sadhana needs to take us, from Swadha to at least Nista. Nista means there are 9 levels, isn't it? Before reaching Prema Bhakti. So the 5th level means Nista. Most devotees don't really come to Nista. So forget about Bhava and Prema doesn't come to Nista. Nista means becoming very steady. Nista means following very strictly the 4 rules and regulations and chanting our 16 rounds every day. Nista means actually coming to the mode of goodness, where the mind is peaceful, and evam prasanna manaso bhagavat bhakti yogataha bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sanghasya jayate. In the 1st canto, 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, that verse is nicely explaining that when we rise to that mode of goodness, when we are fixed up in the mode of goodness, then we will nicely be able to engage in devotional activities. And it is, you're talking about mood, this understanding will become revealed, will manifest by the mercy of Krishna. Yeah? Okay? Yes, one last. Yes.
Is this Govrata and Grihavrata and Grihameda same Maharaj, which is referred to?
What is that?
Govrata and Grihameda. In this verse it has said that it is Grihavrata. Materialistic activity is Grihavrata. So is this Grihameda only?
Don't have the book now. Well, there is what is called Grihastha and Grihastha.
It is written here Grihavrata. So is this the same?
Oh yes. Grihavrata means, it's like vrata usually means like vow. So Grihavrata, I would need to have the book here. What was the verse again? This is the verse, yeah. One second. Yeah, Grihavratanam, that is what you're referring to, yeah. So, Grihavrata is similar to Grihaniti, yeah, correct. Attached to material. Yes. So, Griha, home, can be of 2 kinds, or we can have 2 types of understanding or relationship. Grihastha, which is a spiritual ashram-focused home, knowing that, again, it's Krishna's home, we are servants of Krishna, like that. Very nice we need, as devotees, this is the mentality we develop. And if that mentality is not there, then it is prihamedi or prihavrata, which is the total opposite, our life and situation becomes simply more and more miserable in that condition. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Jai.
Okay, no more questions.
Hare Krishna.